We're live. Hello, everyone. My name is Sabine Matharu, and I'm a business startup and growth strategist. And today I have with me Jim Lupkin, who is the number one bestseller on Amazon. Amazon just hit this weekend with his brand new release of Predictive Social Media. So, welcome, Jim. Please just introduce yourself a little bit. And I tell you, whoever is watching this now, you need to have a pen and paper in place because this is going to blow my mind, your mind, like it blew my mind when I read his book. Because this is for everyone who wants to build their social media up in a way that will leave no one to fail. So Jim has created a system that will make you, I guess, will force you to be super successful in social media. So hi, Jim. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
So please tell us a little bit about your background and what made you sort of create this book. And then we'll talk a bit about the book itself as to a couple of things that, people can get a take and perhaps take away. And of course, there's also a link to go and grab the book because there's so many amazing exercises in there. I mean, I had so many light bulb moments, which are just, I didn't really understand what kind of social media platforms I was on until I actually read Jim's book and understood the reasons why we're using Facebook or the reason why we're using Instagram. There is always a reason behind it, and we actually need to make sure that we're on the right platform for the right reasons. So, Jim, take it away. I know you've got so much to share today.
So I've been doing social media for almost 26 years right now. So we're going back to October 1995. Yes, social media has been around that long. It was just in a different form. But social media to me is how do you build a relationship with someone else through a computer? And that person becomes a friend, but also becomes a customer. They might become a customer referrer where they'll refer your product because they just love it so much. So my entire career since 18 in high school, I'm now 44, everything I've done to build my own companies, to help my friends, everything has been based on social media. And so after almost 26 years now, it'll be 26 years this December. So 25 and a half right now. Out of all of this time, what I've learned is if you know exactly what levers to pull to get the exact outcome that you want every single time, then the odds of success are 100%. The only way that you can fail is if you don't do the work. And so as an entrepreneur myself, that is what was always in my mind. How can I build my businesses where I get 100% success rates, and the only way it's gonna not make it is if it falls on me. And so that has always been my quest for more than 2 decades now. And so when I wrote this book, Predictive Social Media, and as you can see the title up there on the screen, it's about aligning your core values with your relationships and then tightening it into this disruptive system to get predictive results. And because I've been doing this for so long, I've been able to kind of finesse the processes, sequences, and timing of things to create this predictive result. And for social media, for me, I've been able to get it down to 1 out of 5. So 1 out of 5 is 1 out of every 5 people that are exposed to any product or service becomes a customer or refers your product or service to others. 1 out of 5. That's what this book does.
And that's so awesome. And Jim, we're very much aligned. I've always talked about predictive sales and marketing systems in, as us entrepreneurs. And I believe that when we are following some sort of steps, and of course, we all have our own businesses, our own voice, and you bring that in actually in the book, as in like creating those relationships. So we still have that human kind of interaction. And I think you actually highlight how that actually can be amplified and people can really connect in more depth, because right now we have so many friends on social media and followers, but does that really translate into paying customers? And that's what you talk about in the book and show how that can actually then go and translate into paying customers, but potentially even having less followers and more customers, because at the end of the day it's all about making sales and showing the results, isn't it?
It is. When you think about what you just said, before social media, most smaller businesses built their entire business through word of mouth. They built it through relationships. One of my friends has been in business for 63 years now. She's in her 90s. She was doing it back then. Another friend has been in it for about 45 years. He's been doing it since then. My other friends that only been doing it for 25 years, like me, have been doing relationships. It's always been relationships that grow businesses. The larger companies get away from relationships once they get past that initial startup stage because they don't know how to scale it and they don't know how to look at the metrics to know that it's actually working. That's why they gravitate towards advertising, the bigger companies. That's over now. These bigger companies can now actually metric out the word of mouth. However, with social media, here's what happens with social media. And this really started just with the internet in general. People started to get away from relationships and they started focusing on the technology of things within the computer. They started focusing on, oh, I can do this SEO thing. I can do a pay-per-click thing. I can run an ad on a social media site. I can do all of these things that make it sound like I don't have to really do any work and I can get all these really great results. Well, the truth is you don't get all this big results. It doesn't actually happen. The ones that understand relationship first, then use technology if they want to, those ones thrive big time. It's why you have people now on TikTok with 100 million followers. They didn't do it because of internet marketing. They didn't do it because of digital marketing or, all the fancy stuff that business owners get pulled into by these classy marketers that sell them stuff. They got pulled into they built these huge followings because of they built a bond between another human being. So focus on relationships. You'll be very successful on social media.
Yeah, exactly. And you talk about, so one of the core elements is, so there's two core elements here. And one I was really interested in was the Six Sigma element. And for those that you may not know what Six Sigma is something that's come from sort of the corporate world, I guess. It's all about process improvement, and I happen to be a process improvement consultant. Been working with Six Sigma quite a lot, and it's all about reducing variation in our process. So, what could it do for you if you knew you had a process that you could deploy in your business that would actually bring the same results as it would bring for myself or for Jim if we were to follow that? So I think that's one of the core concepts that makes this book very different. And I know it's also based on the 7 C's, and I'd like you to talk about both, Jim.
Okay. So let's think about Six Sigma. If you don't know what Six Sigma is, go Google it, and you're going to be very, very impressed about how big Six Sigma actually is. I met one of the creators of Six Sigma about 11 years ago, Dr. Michael J. Harry. Him and another gentleman worked out of Motorola back in the 80s, and they built this thing called Six Sigma. It basically saved Motorola and helped Motorola become what it is today. But because of that, 87 of the Fortune 100 companies in America and 66% of the Fortune 500 companies in America, they all use Six Sigma to build these huge companies. But then you can look anywhere in the world and you see the same type of success on almost every continent for Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is a system, and you implement it, you grow a successful business. So when I met Michael, he started teaching me this idea of system. And then he started teaching me what a system actually is. And he broke it down into its sequence, timing, and process. So when you take this sequence, timing, and process and you intertwine it together, you get a very predictable result, Jim. And if you can make that result happen over and over and over again, no matter who's actually using the system. So if it's a personality A type, someone that's very outgoing, or someone that's very laid back and quiet, no matter who is using the system, if they're getting the same result, you got yourself a system. So this isn't based on your personality. And that is what this is. So when I built this out to a point where I thought it was a system, I shared it with Michael. He made a 4-minute video that you can find online endorsing this as the only proven system in the world that can scale your business using word of mouth on social media. And in the end, he came back and said, Jim, this is Six Sigma. This is a Six Sigma way of thinking, literally what you build. So it's not that Michael endorsed it, because he did, but he endorsed it because this is Six Sigma. And it's just been customized, if you can say, into social media. So let's break down this whole thing of sequence, timing, and process into the 7 C's. So any business owner that's watching this right now, think about what pieces I'm about to say are you missing, but also what pieces are you really strong in? Because you're going to say to yourself, wait a minute, Jim didn't invent anything new. But what I did was I took all the different elements of social media, meshed them together to get way bigger output for your business than what you're currently doing. But that's what Six Sigma did too. Okay, so the first C is called contribution. This is the most important C you have to work through first as a business owner. So within contribution, you have 3 elements. The first one is personal growth. It's those cobwebs up here that cause you from not giving it your all in your business, or cause you from not doing the things that you should be doing. Like fear of rejection is one personal growth. So in the book, we'll teach you how to clear that all out. Once it's cleared out, now we have a blank canvas to build on. So now we move to the second part of contribution, which is core values. Now we show you, okay, this is how you pick your core values. This is how your core values will bring you happiness in your personal life, but this is how the core values bring you happiness in your business. If you find joy in building your business, you're going to work it harder and stronger. You're going to be more passionate when you're talking to people about your business. You won't be doing it just for the money. You'll be doing it because you genuinely enjoy it. And the way you get there is by actually knowing your core values and how they're aligned. So you'll learn that in the book. Once you know what your core values are and why you're so passionate, like truly passionate for what you do in life, then and only then can you really build relationships, because now you're connecting with people that are aligned with your core values. So that means you're going to build relationships really fast. See, people say all the time, oh, relationships take so long to build. They're used to doing all the technology things. I'm like, they don't take long to build if you understand your core values. You build them super fast. So we teach you how to build relationships on social media almost effortlessly. Those are the 3 elements of contribution. Then we go to the second C, which is called capabilities. Predictive social media is a wonderful platform, but how does it work on Facebook? How does it work on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all these other sites? So you'll go through a chapter where you'll be asked questions, and then you'll easily be able to look at any platform out there and know how predictive social media works within each platform. So that way you can use this on any platform. The next C is called compliance. This is a C that many businesses don't like to pay attention to because it feels, oh, I got to learn about what to say and what not to say so I don't get in legal trouble. I'll just say and then ask for forgiveness later. But here's the deal. If you do it right, you will attract the right people. So if you're uber professional, you're going to attract really great people. If you hype stuff, you're going to attract those types of people. So compliance will teach you the do's and don'ts from a legal perspective. And here's a beautiful thing. Over 25 years, I've learned that when you do compliance right, it's not boring. It actually attracts amazing, phenomenal people to your business that actually grow your company very quickly. That's the first 3 C's. Now we're going to jump into the 4 C's, which is kind of like the engine of this that gets the new customers for you. So the first one is conversation. How do I talk to you one-on-one through things like Facebook Messenger, where I can build a relationship with you, yet I can bring up the business to you very, very quickly and easily talk to 30 people every day? How do I do that? Then those people that are interested, I take them to the next C, called community. So instead of me trying to get you all excited, I'm going to use my community online and all my friends that already love my product. I'm going to get them to get you excited. It'll be much easier. People will become customers faster. That's community. The next C after community is called connection. So while I'm reaching out to all my friends, I'm going to run out of people to talk to. So how do I never run out of people to talk to? And that's called connections. But it's not generating leads. It's not doing cold advertising. It's connecting with people that you would normally connect with, whether or not social media existed. That's the key. Because if you can connect with those people, you build relationships much, much faster. So it's a very different thing there. Now, when I talked a little bit about ads are actually very, very powerful when they're sprinkled on top of predictive social media. They're not as good if you just do it as a purely, I'm going to run ads type of approach, at least in my opinion, because I think relationships are the key. And then the final C is called communication. And 1 out of 5, 99% of people that hear that number are just blown away. They're like, you're telling me 1 out of every 5. That's like really, really high. It's high, but do you realize that 4 out of 5 are still saying no? So 80% are still not doing business with you. So that's where communication steps in. How do we stay in touch with them long term? Do we do email marketing? Do we do text marketing? Sure, do all that stuff. But there's a more powerful way that has to be your focus. And this is this communication thing that happens within social media. So you can follow up and stay in touch with people long term until they do business with you. And something else you're going to learn in the book. There's 3 reasons that need to be in place for someone to do business with you. The first one is you need to have a relationship with them at the way that I define a relationship. 2, you got to have influence with them, or what I call inspiration. And then 3, life experience. So if I'm selling a health product right now that could help me, that can help my friends lose weight. If my friend doesn't believe he or she needs to lose weight, no matter what I say, she's not or he's not becoming a customer. But if in 3 months from now, she or he realizes that they need to lose weight, they're going to think of me. Communication allows me to stay in touch with them where they reach out to me. So that is the 7 C's. When you do the 7 C's together, you get extraordinary results. If you do half of the C's, you get so-so results. You have to do all of the C's. The results are very, very high.
Oh, that's awesome. Jim, I know you've been working with quite some, or had some quite amazing results in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You've been working with a lot of kind of impressive people, like billionaires even, right? And I recall, you have implemented the 7 C's or the whole process, and they have gotten all those results. So can you maybe have some examples here in terms of what's been achieved through, and obviously now it's all in the book.
Yes.
So people don't have to pay thousands of dollars to have you come in as a consultant and do what you did with them, with those people.
Yeah. So when I was writing this book, I was saying to myself, how can I get everything in the book that I do, that I personally do when I'm working with others? And that way they can take the book, they can run with it and not even need me. There's only so much I can get in a book, of course, but what was like the core elements so that they can really hit the floor running again without needing me there? It was the 7 C's. So some success stories, and there's a lot of them. Right now, there are people in, I think it's 104 countries that are using predictive social media all around the world. But some stories are, let's start at the small level. The brand advocate that is selling a product or service for another company, like the direct sales industry, or an independent contractor, solopreneur, like a realtor or insurance person, someone that's just below the small business. They have 0 employees and they're just selling for themselves. 2 really cool stories that came in the last maybe 6 months. Well, actually, I'll share 3 real quick. One was a gentleman here in the United States in direct sales. In 1 year, the average person in direct sales industry gets maybe 3 personal customers, 5 maybe if they're lucky in their lifetime. In the last 12 months, he got 205. That is massively different than the industry average. Another woman from Mexico, 175 personal customers. Those are very significant numbers. It's the 6 Sigma way though. Like I was like, we're not going to do some little uptick here that's just above everyone else. We're going to break through the roof where people can't even, they just have a hard time saying, whoa, what just happened? It needs to be so far out of the box because I don't just want a little bit above what people think is competitive. I always like to be in a completely different space. Those are 2. I have another friend in the in that type of world, does over 50 million a year in sales as her own independent contractor using predictive social media. So those are some pretty vast stories. In the small business space, again, a lot of stories. One of my favorite stories that I always share is a friend of mine that owns she's a small business selling horse products. And she was like a $200,000 to $300,000 a year, US dollar a year small business. Started using predictive social media. Last month was her first $100,000 US dollar month. $105,000 per month. She's now more than a $1 million business. She accomplished all of this in about 6 months. So that's a lot of growth. Small business. When you go to brands, like that might be the next step, the next level up. People that are looking to build a brand. One story is Dr. Ronnie DeLuz. She used predictive social media, got 57,000 people following her in an incredibly short period of time on Facebook. And this is somebody that works with very high-end celebrities and politicians, many that your audience would know about. And then company-wise, I mean, I've seen companies grow by $70 million in 16 months, 120,000 customers using predictive social media. So this predictive social media works no matter what type of business. It really comes down to this. If you have a product that is priced fairly and people actually see value for it, and you need a way to get it out there, predictive social media is it.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love the fact that I heard you say as well that this doesn't just work for the extrovert or the introvert or the so-and-so mentor, because obviously we always compare ourselves online to other people and we think, well, actually, this person has been able to get 50,000 people following them, and because they are, I don't know, they look like a model, and I don't know, they have this, I don't know, they can act and do all these videos on Instagram and stuff like this, right? Because some people just aren't that and they don't want to do that. So how does that apply to them?
There is a market for those types of people. That's why they have such big followings. I want to debunk a myth real quick because it will help set up what I'm about to talk about. When a new platform is created, say like TikTok, some of these people have over 100 million followers. Some have 50 million, 60 million, 40 million. If you go and do the research, you'll notice that they were on the platform before it exploded. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is when you see somebody with a huge following, incredibly high chance they were there before the platform actually took off. So they were lucky. If you were there with the platform before it took off, you would have a huge following too, as long as you had good quality content. But now if you try to do it, it's just not possible because the content's already mature. So you have to understand that about followers. Another thing you have to understand about followers is anyone that has a lot of followers that has done it after the platform has gotten big, a large group of them purchased them. They bought them with money. They actually didn't earn them. And then there are another group that did actually build it. But when they build it, it's a lot of hard work to build it after the platform's really big. So you got to get a realistic of what you're trying to do. Like if you jump on Facebook right now and try to build up a Facebook business page, don't expect to have 80 million followers. But if you have 2,000 followers within your specific market, that might be enough for you to be doing a $500,000 a year business. So you have to get into like, just figure out like, what are you trying to achieve? Don't compare yourself to others because these things I just shared with you are completely out of the reach of even them. These people woke up one day, it was like, oh my gosh, I have this huge following. How did I do it? Most of them have no idea how they did it, but I'm sharing with you right now how they actually did it. Now with all of that, now I'm leading up to this. This is something that has been on my mind for 25 years, my entire career. Why do some people get trained and mentored by the same exact people, yet some of them become successful and some of them don't? Don't understand. Now, you can say things, well, that person didn't want it, or that person just didn't work hard enough. Let's move all of that stuff aside, and let's just look at two people that worked just as hard. They were equal in every way, but yet one made it and one didn't. Why is that? And I thought about that for the last 2 decades, and I think most people would agree with this comment. When you're getting mentored and trained by people to do something, you are learning from them how they did it. But it's very narrow. Like they may have only done it once. So they can only teach you what they learned in that moment. The other is personality. So if you don't have their personality, the odds of you achieving what they're achieving is very small. So when you put two people together, if this person has their personality of that trainer, you'll notice those people are having more success. It's because they're able to adapt every single thing that that person's teaching them because they feel like it's them.
Mm.
So if you're being trained by someone who's very outgoing, but you're very conservative, you're not going to apply every single thing they're teaching you because some of it makes you feel really uncomfortable. So you're going to have only a little bit of success. This other person feels like it's their brother or sister because they're like, they're just like me. So they're going to apply everything and they're having all this success. So your success then is based on personality, isn't it? It's based on personality. It's not based on the actual content. With predictive social media, it was important to me that everyone understands this is not based on personality. Like you don't have to have my personality to have success. If you look at what I've done earlier in my career, I was very quiet. I was very reserved and I was having blockbuster success. Today, I'm more outgoing, but it's only because I've been doing it for so long. It doesn't matter about your personality. The person that got the 200 customers I talked about, he is very, very different than the person in Mexico. I mean, completely opposite. So your personality does not matter with predictive social media because there's enough people out there that will resonate with you for you to hit your financial goals.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I think it is about speaking to those people that resonate with you and your message and your energy. There's plenty of people out there, and I think we must, also repel those that aren't in our energy because working with them long term is not going to serve us and not going to serve them either. It may not work out altogether. So thank you so much, Jim. It's a pleasure. I really enjoyed reading your book, and thank you for, having being here today and also letting me sort of have a peek preview of the book as well as I was sort of part of your pre-launch team. I would recommend everyone to hop over to jimlupkin.com. Tell people what they're going to find on that page and how they can purchase and what else they can find there, please.
So when you go to this website, just for the next 24 hours, the book is still available for 99 cents in US, 99 cents digital copy. You can also get the paperback. Starting 24 hours from now, it'll be back to regular pricing. When you go to the website, you'll enter your email address. By entering your email address, not only will you get access to the book, but you're going to get access to a rewards program. So for example, if you post a picture of you holding a book, it puts you into a pool to win free coaching calls. So we're doing a lot of fun rewards that are completely in your grasp. Like you don't have to depend on anybody else to earn them. It's all based on what you do. We're doing that so that way you can bring the book to life and make the book work for your business. So there's going to be rewards. We're doing special events that you can become part of. And then there's 3 other things that you can see on that screen. Once you enter your email address, next page, there's a buy now. Go buy the book. And then I'll stay in touch with you. Your first email that you'll get will be join our Predictive Social Media Facebook group. So we'll see you in there. And remember, this is a journey. This isn't having success next week. It's about finding your core values so that you can stick with your business for a long time, build amazing relationships along the way, then have a very synchronized way of growing your business on social media so that you can maximize your time every day with your business. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So head over to jimlupkin.com, and regardless whether it's still 99 cents or not, buy the book. It's still going to be, it's not a lot of investment, compared to what's in there. So thank you so much, Jim. Really appreciate it, and good luck with, the further projects and more book sales.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you.